dreaming about revenge, Eric wants to move on. He isn't a soldier anymore, he wants to be a husband, but Finley doesn't think he is being a good husband to Patricia by not working on his issues. At least one person in their group should find peace and not live in shame, so Finley wants Eric to do this for him. However, he goes too far by asking Eric what happened to him those 2 weeks that he was away, so Eric decides it's time for Finley to leave. The couple takes Finley to the station, and before boarding, he promises Patricia he'll send a message Eric can't ignore. Once he makes it to a part of the railroad that works as a bridge, Finley uses some rope to end things at last, not wanting to live with his trauma any longer. Patricia receives the news through a phone call, and Eric can guess what happened as soon as she says Finley's name. He asks her if she's happy, thinking this happened because she started to interfere. Patricia and the rest of the Veterans Club go to the funeral, but not Eric, who decides to travel to Thailand and do what Finley asked him to. He finds an older Nagase working as a guide in the very same place where Eric was kept as a slave, so he waits outside until the visitors are gone before sneaking inside and confronting his old enemy. Nagase doesn't recognize him at first, but he quickly catches on and sits down to be interrogated by Eric the same way Eric had been interrogated back then. When Eric was taken away for those 2 weeks, Nagase explained that his friends confessed they built the radio together, but Eric had been the ringleader and also drawn a map of the railway. They wanted to know who Eric had been passing the information to, so Eric tried to tell them he only drew the map because he liked trains and the radio was only a receiver that had no way to transmit messages, but they didn't believe him, so he was kept in a small cage outside with other prisoners. Every now and then, they would take him to interrogate him, but since he wouldn't change his answers, they began using harder methods to get him to confess, like extreme beatings and starvation. Back in the present, Eric is trying to get Nagase to admit he'd been part of the perpetrators instead of saying he had only been an interpreter. This is what kept him alive when the British Army finally arrived to rescue its men. Nagase told them he had only worked as a translator, didn't take part in the beatings, and wasn't part of the secret police, so he was spared from justice. Afterward, he worked for the War Graves Commission and traveled the railways as an interpreter,